제 전부 쏟은 힘이 정도는 모놈 전부 가게다 아그러다는 전도 실물도 또 나도 제잖아 기좀 사람의 저러 증이 장근서 저거 특기 선로 열라면 이제 본조장로 소란
The supreme, profound, and sublime Dharma is difficult to encounter in a being. Yans now see it, hear it, receive it, and kept it. I vow to attain the true meaning of the Tathagata. In order to liberate all sentient beings, let us generate the supreme bodhicitta. Well, we'll continue with a journey to the West. Currently, we are still at the temple Nechung. In the morning, Pontsog Rinpoche bestowed the empowerment of Tenjo Nisol, also talked about the connection between him and protector Nechung. And then in the afternoon, Yijin Norbu taught the practice manual of the peaceful Manjushri, placing Buddhahood within reach. And then he elaborated on the part from Guru Yoga to the completion stage. At the beginning of that part, there are the teachings of taking refuge and generating bodhicitta and so on. He had already completed that. And for the part of great perfection, only granted the oral transmission without any explanation. But following a passage from his teaching on Guru Yoga, Pontsog Rinpoche, other than giving the entire teaching on placing Buddhahood within reach at Washington, D.C., he only gave the teachings of the preliminary practices, and in the later part, he had given only the oral transmissions, and maybe it is because of the special causes and conditions. For example, Washington, D.C. being the heart of the United States, in some ways it holds a very special place in the States, and then the entire teaching is included in the second volume, and when we have an opportunity, we should study it together. So he didn't specifically talk about them too much, but following the teaching, he bestowed the teachings on the Guru Yoga. We only took parts of the teachings. For example, the empowerments and so on were not included. Many of you would not grant the empowerments for that reason. It was not included in this text, in this version, or in this language. And in the principle of not repeating the content, so I included this particular part on Guru Yoga. If I feel that the Tibetan version is good and not repeating itself, then I put it in the Tibetan and then translate it into the Chinese language. Some people perceive their gurus as ordinary human beings who have bodies of flesh and blood. Some people may perceive their teachers just as an ordinary human being. Others view their guru as Manjushri himself. Or just as yesterday when we learned about Miguel, who perceived Pontsog Rinpoche as Manjushri and a Manjushri statue bestowed by Manjushri. And if they touch their guru, they feel they're touching Manjushri. At the moment of touching their guru, they feel that they're touching Manjushri in person, not thinking that they're touching an ordinary being who has bad temper and this and that. Pontsog Rinpoche once then said that if you were to see your teacher being an old man with wrinkles and so on, then you would not be able to receive the blessings of the guru. Among these two views, which one is correct? To perceive the guru as Manjushri is correct. There are many reasons to support this view, but I'm afraid we will not have enough time to expound on this topic extensively. Well, he didn't explain too much over here, but later he will. To make it simple, our Guru really is Manjushri, and that is why we need to visualize the Guru as Manjushri. Well, this teaching is a little bit difficult to understand, but if you were to read it again and again thoroughly, you should be able to understand it. In the practice of Guru Yoga of Manjushri, we should consider that the essence of Manjushri is our root teacher. Why is that? Because if we perceive both the appearance and essence as Manjushri, there may be a tendency to feel Manjushri is beyond our reach.
为什么是把这个上师呢？就是这个是文殊菩萨呢？就是如果心相也是文殊菩萨，就是对我们就是有点遥远的。
Why is that? It is because in terms of appearance, it would be difficult for us to see the teacher as a Manjushri. That is why sometimes we visualize the Manjushri takes the nature of our Guru, and sometimes the Guru takes the nature of Manjushri. To many of us, Manjushri is the noble one residing at Mount Wutai, who went to India many times when the Buddha was physically there, but has little to do with where we're living now. It's probably a long time ago, 2,500 years ago, between a Buddha and a Bodhisattva. It seems to be too far away from us. If we pray to him, it might seem that we would receive very little blessings. Sometimes we may feel that if we were to perceive the teacher as the form of Manjushri, then it would be difficult. On the contrary, our root Guru has come to us in person and bestowed upon us empowerment and teaching. So we would naturally feel much closer to him, and that it is easier to receive great blessings if we pray to him. Or when we studied the teachings on resting illusion and so on, this particular expression is a little bit difficult to understand or unique and unusual, but if you were to look at it, that is simply expounds it from a different angle, then you will be able to understand. The form we should visualize, the form is the teacher, but then Manjushri is the nature. This is the gist of the teaching. For this reason, when we visualize Manjushri, we should know that his essence is our root Guru. If you want to achieve the realization of the great perfection, the best way is to pray to your Guru. If you already have some realization of great perfection but wish to improve your experience and attainment, letting it continuously increase and lead you to Buddhahood, there is no better method than praying to your Guru. Therefore, it is essential to meditate on and pray to your Guru. Now, for those of you who study the Vajrayana, you would be able to see that Phuntsok Rinpoche definitely emphasized on this particular point. In our practice, to visualize and pray to your Guru is crucial. Here is the method to visualize and practice Guru Yoga. Firstly, visualize your root Guru in space right in front of you in the form of Manjushri and reflect. From now on, other than you, I will never seek another refuge, and even in my dreams, I will only pray to you, my Guru. This is something to remember, because all of you who are sitting here, some of you may be still quite distracted. You would run to this teacher today and the other teacher another day. That really shows that you do not have a sense of certainty yet. When you go to a teacher of this lineage and then you go to a teacher of that lineage, and sometimes you would speak that, oh, this teaching is so rare to receive, that teaching is rare to find. And then by wavering between this and that, you won't be able to find a certainty in the view through your root teacher. For people who are very rather steady on relying on the teacher, they would be able to develop that kind of certainty. Otherwise, it would be very difficult. Also, those people are easy to be spotted from the group, because they don't receive that kind of power from the teacher. Also, the teacher do not have not really tamed them. Now in the summer we have lots of empowerments. In some other religions, in some other schools, the teachers would say that you should not seek for the teacher and empowerments from other lineage and other schools. There are already so many samayas, but if you were to add on to those samayas by saying that you should only follow certain lineage and certain teacher, I don't know if that's necessary. However, it did point out that if there are people who constantly waves here and goes there and have the mind that does not have a certainty, we can see that blessings have not ripened into them and they have not developed a certainty in their view at all. It is not that we don't have time, it is not that we don't have the opportunity. Rather, we never had the intention to go to other teachers. Also, we can see that people who received the secret meaning or understood the secret meanings of the lamas had not relied on that many teachers. So from these kinds of stories and signs, we can definitely make observation that people who tend to run around and seek for various teachers and various lineages, their minds are quite distracted, and they would waste all kinds of resources and not able to develop the right view, and sometimes even the wrong view would be developed in their mind, and their spiritual life would be quite much ruined. With devoted faith, make the mandala offerings to the Guru. Visualize that you offer to your Guru your body possession and all merit accumulated throughout the 3 times. Then complete that in front of the Guru. You sincerely disclose and confess all the misdeeds and downfalls created in all times since beginningless time, swearing that even swearing that even when your life is at risk, you would never commit those misdeeds again. This is the remedy to purify misdeeds. Next, contemplate. Now the previous part is purify one's obstacles and making offering. And then next, contemplate. I would only pray to you, my Guru. Please grant me empowerment and pith instruction so that my mind will be brought to maturity and liberation. Lots of people would say that it is not that I only pray to you. You're one of my gurus. Some of the people would contemplate in such a way. They would think that all of the lamas are Buddhas, so I have to supplicate to all of the lamas. Well, of course, if you have that kind of a pure outlook, you can have many lamas, just as Master Atisha, Venerable Atisha. But over here, it says that just simply supplicate to one teacher, one guru, and thinking that whatever I encounter, I would not abandon you, and please grant me blessing so that I can attain maturation in realization. Again, reflect, please bless me so that I can practice the great perfections path of clear light and achieve the same realization as yours. Like this, we need to pray to the Guru with the total devotion. There are lots of the very direct and very practical, very useful instructions included. That is why I stated that I insisted that this book should be made with the beautiful bindings and printing. blessings, because this could be a book that you would carry and read throughout your whole life. And if the binding is not good, it could open at any time, and that would be such a pity. That is why I made it into a specifically very expensive and exquisite printing. Nowadays, it seems that you don't cherish a book very much. I remember that when I just came here, I would buy all kinds of, I would purchase the cloth to wrap up my pitcha. And I really cared about my books, but it seems that nowadays people don't really do that anymore, don't really care about it anymore. For me, because it was very difficult to get textbooks and Dharma books, and that is why I cherished all of them very much. And then the verse of this prayer was directly transmitted and taught by the Buddha, so it possesses extremely powerful blessings. This part should keep the original sound rather than having the translated version. So it says that when you recite it, do not recite it in English, but in original Tibetan language. The meaning is that appearing in the form of a youthful kaya, splendidly adorned with the wisdom and luminosity that can dispel the darkness of ignorance in the world. To you, Lord Manjushri, I pray. The first line depicts the Bodhisattva Manjushri what he looks like. He appears as a youthful 16-year-old, splendidly adorned with wisdom. Luminosity indicated that Manjushri is the embodiment of the omniscient wisdom of all Buddhas, so that he is adorned with the luminosity of wisdom. Just as a lamp can dispel darkness, the great compassion of Bodhisattva Manjushri can remove the stupidity and ignorance of all sentient beings. In front of such a Lord, Bodhisattva Manjushri, we should pray wholeheartedly and ask for blessings from Manjushri and recite this. Now, to recite this for 10,100,000 times. Well, when we practiced it, it was for 100,000 times, at least 10,000. In the end, visualize that from the middle of the Guru's eyebrows, his throat, and his heart center radiate respectively white, red, and blue light rays, and dissolve into your three corresponding places, three centers, thereby all the misdeeds and obscurations of body, speech, and mind are purified, and you obtain the qualities of your Guru's three kayas. Finally, the Guru melts into light that again dissolves into you, whereby you and the Guru becomes the same. At this point, concentrate the state that is imbued with the view of a great perfection. Relax and abide. When conceptual thoughts arise again, visualize the entire universe and the inhabitants within that body of the Guru. All sounds is the speech of the Guru, and all thoughts are the wisdom of the Guru. Remain the pure perception and dedicate the virtue to all sentient beings to attain supreme Buddhahood. This is the practice of Guru Yoga. This is rather quite important. That is why I place it here. And then on the same day, the Guru and the disciples of Nechon Temple requested the teaching of Guru Yoga of Guru Rinpoche Pamasambhava, because the disciples and lamas had a great faith to Pamasambhava. So on that day, His Holiness also gave the Guru practice of Pamasambhava composed by Mipa Rinpoche, that is called the Shower of Blessings. Now, our Guru Yoga is included in some of the talk offering in the preliminary practices and so on, but this particular one is a bit different. Phuntsok Rinpoche gave the oral transmission and then started to spontaneously give teachings on this. So later, when I compared his teaching to Mipa Rinpoche and other texts and liturgies on Pamasambhava, I was in awe to find out that Phuntsok Rinpoche spoke of it very much in accordance with the teachings given by Mipa Rinpoche and the other Pamasambhava Guru Yoga. And then I thought to myself, it must be that Phuntsok Rinpoche had already infused with those teachings. So he just spontaneously gave the teachings, and the teaching just gushed out of his lips. For us, sometimes whenever we read and then chant and then explain each of the words, it could be kind of challenging. But for Phuntsok Rinpoche, it seems so spontaneous. That is why I would like to share this teaching with you here. First, after Phuntsok Rinpoche gave the teaching, he said that first, you do not need to perceive yourself as a deity. You simply visualize your body as it is. And then in the space right in front of you appears the immaculate Dhanakosha lake of Uddiyana. This is included in the Satnasva, which is filled with the pure water of 8 good qualities. It was the place where Pamasambhava was born. So in the center of the lake, visualize 1,000-petal lotus blossom atop, that is a full moon disk upon which sits Origin Rinpoche Pamasambhava. His complexion is white, tinged with red, brimming with energy and vitality. His right hand holds a vajra and his left hand holds a skull cup containing a jeweled vase. His body is adorned with the ornaments of the perfect Sambhokai, including the 5 silk ornaments and 8 jewel ornaments. He is in union with Yeshe Tsogyo, who is white in color and holds a carved knife in her right hand and skull cup in her left hand. Surrounding them are the noble beings in the mandala of self-existing tantra. You must visualize all these clearly and distinctly. So first of all, we need to visualize Pamasambhava. Whenever we visualize Pamasambhava, this is rather very simple visualization. When you practice this way, I think it would be very helpful to you, because Pamasambhava's practice and liturgies are so crucial in this dark age. When you enter into retreat, you need to practice the Guru Yoga of Pamasambhava. Within some long and extensive sadhana and rituals and liturgies, I think it would be very difficult for us to practice. But this one that has both Guru Rinpoche and Yeshe Tsogyo in union, it's already completed with all the qualities. Also, this one has both of the 7 branches offering and the Tsok offering. So third, in front of the visualization of Pamasambhava, I reflect that whether I go up or down, or whether I experience the agony or joy, misfortune or fortune, omniscient Guru Rinpoche, know me, please bless me. Well, some may have lots of faith towards Pamasambhava. They would tear up and weep in front of the statue and then supplicate wholeheartedly with great devotion. With tremendous faith and devotion, pray to him sincerely and fervently. Then in terms of your body, place your palms together. In terms of speech, sing respectful prayers. And in terms of the mind, recollect his excellent qualities. Thus you pay homage to him respectfully. Next, contemplate, I offer to you, Guru Rinpoche, all that I am excessively attached to, including my body, possession, and all the merit accumulated in the 3 times visualize making offering to Guru Rinpoche in this way. And then the third is the confession. Then confess negative deeds by thinking, since beginning countless times until now, life after life, I have committed limitless misdeeds driven by
那么
desire,
对过
anger,
去
and
的这种
ignorance.
这个所犯
For
下的
all
罪
the
业呢，就
misdeeds
是
I
感到
have
后
done,
悔。
now I
那么发
confess
誓
and
以后
openly
呢，就是
disclose
遇
in
到
front
生
of
命
you,
危
Guru
险
Rinpoche,
也
I
是不
regret
会就是
whatever
再去
misdeeds
造。
I have done
然
before,
恳请
and
的
I
莲花
swear
僧大师
never
加
to
持自
repeat
己
them
所
even
有
when my
的
life is
堕
at
罪
risk.
得以清
Please
净。
bless
这
me
样
so
一遍
that my
观想，一
downfalls
遍
and
呢就是
misdeeds
就
can be
忏悔
completely
这是
purified.
这个第三个
This is
忏
the
悔。
third branch
第四个应该
confession,
随
and
喜
the
之吧，
next
就
one
是
is
在
the
观
branch of
想对
rejoice
他
out of the
人
seven
的这
branches.
种善根，
Rejoice
也
over
是
others'
从
virtue in this
上
way
到
for
下，
any
对不对？就
virtue
是从上
created
面的
by
这个佛
anyone,
陀和
whether
菩萨，下我们
inferior
凡
or,
夫
or
人，
superior
反
to
正
me.
这个所
Let
有
it
的
be the
人所信
superior
自的
kinds
散
of
发
virtue
呢，自
created
己不
by the
嫉
Buddhas
妒，
and
也不
Bodhisattvas
悔
or
恨，
inferior
真正
such as
的
mundane
去
beings,
随
and
喜。
sincerely
如果真正随
rejoice
喜的
without
话呢，
envy
自
or
己也
enmity.
不惧会得到同
Like
样的
this, if
善
you
根，
can really
甚至呢，就是
rejoice
会得到
at
就
the
是
virtue
生
of
活
others,
他的
you
这
will
个
not
善
only
根，也有
accumulate
这样。
the same
所以
virtue,
呢，
but
我们要
also
发
you
自
may
内心
able
的，
to
就是要随
attain
喜
more
生种下
excellent
所有
merit than
其
the
他人所造的
actual
一
doer.
切善根，就是这是第
Therefore,
四个
it is
这
very
个
necessary
随
for
喜
us
者。
to rejoice
然后
from
再
the bottom
次
of
这
your
个
heart
就
at the
这个应
virtue
该起
of
到长久注释。
any other
在观
individual.
想在这个
And
虚空
then the
没有
next
边际冲
is
劲之间，莲花僧大师
the
的金刚身呢，也
next
是这个不
is
生不死，就
to
是他因为获得
beseech
了长寿
Guru
成
Rinpoche
就
to
果位。
maintain this world.
本来
As
呢不
long
需要
as
祈祷，就是让
space
他长久注
remains,
释，但是
the
他的
Vajra
这
body
个
of
化
Brahma
身呢，
Sambhava
就
is
是随众
beyond
众
birth
生
and
依
death,
然
so
而
actually there's no need to
有
pray
不
to him
同这个
to
实相，
remain
有
this
些有
world.
神圣
However,
里面的
his
就是莲花
Nirmanakaya
僧大
appears
师的
in
化
this
身的
world
这
in
些
various forms
转世
according to the
就是善
various
知识这些是有。
inclinations of
所以
sentient
呢，我
beings.
要这个
For
真
that
诚的
reason,
祈祷，就
we
是
still
让这
need to
个
pray
所
to
有的
him
莲
to
花僧
remain
大
this
师
world as
和
long
他的
as
这个化
possible.
身呢，就是长久注视者，这是第五个。
This is the
然后
fifth
第
and
六个呢，
sixth
就是
when
祈祷
contemplate
转化
that
论，
you
就是在观
supplicate the
想呢，祈
emanations
祷
of
莲
Guru
花僧
Rinpoche
大师的化身
to turn
在
the wheel of
轮
Dharma
回
for
为
the
空寂
benefit of
之
all
前呢，
sentient
就是
beings
一直为
until
所有的这个
samsara
所
is
化众生面
emptied.
前呢，不断的这个光转法论啊，就光转法论，再观想这个
And
是最
then
后的会想，将自己积累
seventh,
的一
next
切
pray
善根围绕
for
获
Guru
得莲花
Rinpoche's
僧大
blessing
师
so
的
that
这
the
个果位而
misdeeds,
不会想，
obscurations, and
就这是
downfalls
七
of
支
your
供，就是
body,
刚才我们
speech, and
讲的
mind
这个
would be
莲花僧大师
completely
的开法
purified.
面前呢，
Visualize
就
that
是自
all
己做一个
qualities
这
of
样的
Guru
七支
Rinpoche's
供，为
body,
此
speech,
我
and
们
mind
不
enter
先
into
选
your
一
own
天的
mind
七支供，
so
我
that
在
you
其他
can
一轨
conduct
当
the
中
vast
七支供。
activities
再
to
观
spread
想，祈祷
Dharma and
莲
the
花僧
benefit
大师
sentient
加持，
beings.
令自己
Well,
的身
so
语
you
意
can
的一切罪障
practice the
啊、过
seven
罪啊
branch
得以清净。
offering
莲花僧
according
大
to
师
this
身语
or
的所
to
有的
the
功德融入
King
自己的
aspiration
下去，
prayer
自
and
己呢
so
就
on.
是承担这
Finally
个弘法利
contemplated
生的
that
广大使命，
through
这是祈
praying
求
in
这
this
个
way from
洗
the heart
涤吧，
center
就
of
是
Guru
要
Rinpoche,
你做七支供以后，你有什么样的请求
fine
呢？
shafts
就是
of
要
light
亲近
with
我们
five
这种
colors
得到莲
radiate
花
and
僧大师，
extend
跟你
into
无二
your
无
own
别，
heart
就是让
center
利
like a
利益众生啊，
spider's
就是是
thread
这个
and
意思。
dissolve there. In this
然后
way,
最后
you
观想
attain
什么呢？
all
依靠
excellent
这样的祈
qualities of
祷，
body,
从
speech, and
莲花
mind
僧
of
大
Guru
师的
Rinpoche
这个
while
心间
meditating
放
this
出
way,
这个
recite the fervently the
五
seven
彩的这种
line
光芒，
prayer
如入这个
and
注释延伸一般
the
的融入自己
mantra
的，
of
好像一
Guru
条线一
Rinpoche.
样的就融入自
So
己
over
的
here,
心，
this
自
is
己呢获得了莲花僧大师的所
praying
有
or
的这
asking
个
for
功德。
the
他
cities.
这里的话呢，就是对莲师的这个心中就是发出这样的一个光芒融入自己
Now
的
the
心。
light
然
would
后呢，就
dissolve
今年
into
呢所
your
祈
mind
祷
and
文
then
和莲花
recite
僧
the
大师的
seven
心
line
中，
prayer and
要借
the
是祈
mantra.
祷文
The
的话，
seven
也
line
可以从
prayer
涵盖
is
了
all
所有
embracing and
佛
all
法的
Dharma
这个
is
角度
condensed
来
into
讲
it. If
啊，就
we
是
were
其
to
实七
teach
支
it,
道
we
文
can
是它是
explain
可以
it
涵
from
盖
all
所有的
levels
佛
of
法。
dharmas.
全智部分认为
Well,
在具体
Mipa
祈祷文的
Rinpoche
这个
has
概念
presented
概
in
念
an
化是吧？就是这
elaboration
个释文当中
of it
有
in
详
his
细
white
讲解的，但
lotus,
这次的话呢，
an
就是
explanation explanation of the silent line prayer to Guru Rinpoche, which you can refer to. So I think this has been translated into English as well, right? This is, I believe, the secret and the inner secret also was translated, right?
我们这里有一个有一个照片，就刚才71
On page 71, that is Khenpo Namdro and Orji Dorje. He's from Bhutan. Also Sanjay Khandro, the translator I introduced to you earlier. She's an American, and in the past when we went to the States, she
去了好几个，应该14年。
In the past, she also translated for me back in 2014 at Yale University and Princeton University and Stanford University, Colorado. Quite a few universities, Sanjay Khandro and her husband followed us and traveled with us and translated for us back in 2014. That was 20 years after the trip of Ponsogren Rinpoche. We then worked again after 20 years. She wasn't very accustomed to translating in universities. I think Virginia University, Yale, Princeton. I believe she was also there. And then Temple University as well. They were quite tired, but she was excellent, a great translator. She's an American. And still serving and teaching. She's still serving also on the editing and proofreading of the final draft of this text. Khampo Namdro, I think he's in Nepal, engaged in a cave retreat around Yanglashu. And Urjin Dorje is in Bhutan. In brief, the seven-line prayer is of immense blessing, completely transcending any other practice. So now I will give you the transmission. I hope that you can recite it often. In your daily recitations, you need to recite the mantra of Guru Rinpoche and the seven-line prayer as much as possible. At the end of each session, visualize that from the middle of his eyebrow, his throat, and his heart center radiate white, red, and blue light rays which dissolve into your three centers. Through this, the blessings of the body, speech, and mind of the Guru enters your mind stream. Finally, the Guru melts into light, which transforms into a perfect round and rosy white bindu, or light sphere. And we think that light sphere with the home syllable in its center as an adornment. Contemplate that the bindu dissolves into your heart center, whereby the Guru's wisdom and your mind merge inseparably and become of one taste. Abide in this state of realization without any thought and rest in samadhi, and then Well, this time we're going to have a short class on the syllable In the past, I believe I also translated another practice of syllable. It was a white Manjushri practice. Could you find it? Following that, Yijino imparted the transmission of the excellent vase of splendor and the tok feast offering to accompany the Vajra seven-line prayer. When giving that transmission, he taught a very useful instruction. As for the tok offerings, you can offer whatever pleasing food and beverages you have. You can place them in front of the representatives of the three jewels or on an individually set altar or the like. In fact, tok offering translation is included in our chant book now. Then chant this concise sana of tok offering and visualize offering them to Guru Rinpoche and gathering the dakas and dakinis. Visualize that they accept and enjoy your offering. So they have already enjoyed their offerings and then you enjoy yours, after which you eat the remainder as the way of accepting cities. This is a great method to effortlessly perfect your accumulations. Nowadays, I know that many of our fellow sanghas would practice different tok offerings on the dakini days, on the Pamasambhava days, and so on. This is quite crucial. Because of this, I would suggest you to make tok offering and recite the sadhana on a regular basis as much as you can. As for the way of reciting sadhana, you can follow what I taught or just follow exactly the complete ritual of Drumyinpa Rinpoche. Practice it either way that makes you feel comfortable. Again, it is included in the Larong chant book. This one was chanted by Ponce Rinpoche when he was in Tibet. This one is with the loan, the oral transmission. You do not need to add or have any omissions. Just chant according to the book. Now, it would be a good idea to practice Tok offering at each meal every day. Before each meal, you can recite the following 4-line stanza of the Tok offering to turn eating into a virtuous activity. Although eating itself is just an ordinary mundane activity, if you recite this sadhana and visualize offering the meal to Guru Rinpoche, having meals can also accumulate a great merit. Not only people do not practice Sok, not even people nowadays do not even chant the offering to the 3 jewels, and then they would eat right away. But if you have time, if you're not that hungry, especially during the retreat time, you should practice Tok offering yourself. You should practice it maybe around noon. Then everything you eat would become the Tok, the offering. That would be very meritorious. You don't necessarily to have a large Tok offering. You can practice Tok by yourself on your own. Make offerings to the 3 jewels and then have some by yourself and then leave some to the ghosts and spirits. Our daily meal can be an offering. Now, I know that you're quite busy, but when you have an opportunity to engage in retreats, I'm sure you can do this. While reciting this sadhana, you should visualize offering a meal to Guru Rinpoche, and the heavy meals can also accumulate a great merit. So I would encourage you to recite it very often. Whatever you're eating, you should visualize not only the deities, you should visualize yourself as the deities as well. We should stop here today.